Welcome back. One of my subscribers sent me this game, wanted me to review it on a video, and the interesting thing about this game, as far as this video concerned, is that it was against me. I was playing with the white pieces. My subscriber, Anderson Connors, was playing with the black pieces. Now, I think both of us were a little startled that his daily rating on Lichess was actually higher than mine at this point. He hasn't been studying chess. He's just been playing chess a lot, according to him. And I have actually been studying chess, so I was a little frustrated to see that his daily rating was higher than mine. So he challenged me to a game, and I accepted. And, well, this is what happened. I opened with the London system, and he played this, I guess, kind of an Indian defense there in the corner. I didn't know, of course, at this point that I was falling behind just a little bit. I'm not sure exactly why. Now here is one of the points where I really started to drop behind. I saw this and thought Anderson was about to play b5, so I decided to prevent that by playing c4. And in a lot of these positions, London system positions that I've evaluated in the past, c4 is actually a really good move here. Turns out that in this case it's not for some reason. And the engine's saying that right here black should go ahead and push for e5. I'm not sure why. It says that if they do, I would play bishop to g5. But I don't think I would. I think I would just take it. I think if he played e5, I would just take it with my d-pawn because I have more pieces pointed at that square than he does. I don't know. Regardless, he didn't play e5. He played bishop to d7. And it keeps suggesting h3 for me here. It took me a while to figure it out, but I think that one of the reasons is that for him it's occasionally suggesting knight to h5, which hits this bishop. So if I've pushed the h3 pawn already, and he does that, then I can slide the bishop back to h2. But I guess I wasn't seeing that, or I was thinking that the bishop is already protected by this pawn. Here I just decided to start my queenside expansion. That's why I played that. The computer didn't like it, or that, for some reason. And here again, you see it's suggesting for me to play h3, I guess to have a place to slide this bishop back. But I decided to help protect my... I should have put it here, according to my plan, because I was about to play b4. I don't know. But I played rook to c1 for some reason. And, wait, let's go back. See what the engine... Yeah, one of the engine's suggestions for Anderson is to play knight to h5. And that would have made sense for me then to have played h3 at that point, I guess. Regardless, he looked to be aiming for this square. My bishop is not protected at the moment. And here again, it's telling me I should play h3. Well, I didn't. I decided to try to break open the center here. And you can see black has the advantage now. He played one of his top two moves there, going for the bishop. I decided to bring it all the way back. And now, again, it's suggesting for him to play knight. This is his top move now, knight to h5. Well, he didn't play that. He took there. I took with the rook. One of the reasons I took with the rook is because my bishop was already pointing at this pawn. If I had taken with the pawn, then my rook couldn't go through. But anyway, and maybe that's why I moved the rook over there earlier, as I was expecting some sort of exchange on this file. Regardless, here the computer is definitely seeing my bishop pointing here. Anderson did not see that and allowed the bishop in. And here again, he needs to move this way. Or... that's his only good move. He made the worst move here. This was one of the turning points of the game, certainly the early part of the game, where I was able to take a pawn and threaten his queen. He had to move out of the way, and I was able to pick up another pawn, and I'm threatening his knight now. Which explains his next move. It actually, the computer is saying he should bring this knight in here. Knight f to d5, that's what it's suggesting is his best move. Well, I think he's just saw that this knight was hanging, and he decided to get a check out of it. That spot's fairly protected, but I went ahead and traded off my bishop for the knight, and now his queen's sitting right in the middle. I did make the best move here, which was to... I'm threatening these, but also, you know... And... he had a couple of choices here, but he chose the wrong one. So I got the bishop for the knight, and here I'm supposed to castle, but I didn't. I mean, it's protected. I thought the queen would move out of the way, and then I would pick up this pawn. That was my idea. He protected the pawn. And now remember, a couple moves ago, castling was my best move. I castled. This time it's a blunder. Right here, I'm supposed to put the knight in. And it took me a while to figure out why. But the reason is that right here, my rook is guarding my bishop. So when I make this move, nothing's guarding the bishop now, which is currently being threatened. Once he moves his queen out of danger, I got to protect that bishop, right? But, or this way, to protect the bishop. But I didn't. I castled. It's a blunder now because I lose the bishop. I mean, good job to Anderson for seeing that. And his idea here, it's a mistake or an inaccuracy, was that since I'm threatening his rook, he will threaten mine. The computer says I should have just taken his and let him take mine. But I thought, you know what? I would rather take slightly differently. So I went here to see if he wanted to trade. I thought I could build up a nice little pawn chain here. And that's what he did, and that's what I did. He still has an advantage until this mistake. Not sure exactly why that's a mistake. I think that's why he sent me the game, is he wanted to find out why some of these were mistakes. But, I mean, he's threatening my queen and this pawn, which I saw, so I have to... he's also threatening a check if I move my queen someplace. But, you know, I was like, I need to go to one of these two spots. I also know that I've been practicing endgames, so I thought if I go here and he trades queens with me, you know, maybe that'll give me an advantage. That turns out to be a huge blunder, and this was Anderson's biggest advantage of the game, according to the engine. The idea is... not sure what the idea is. The computer says he should go here. I'm honestly surprised he didn't just go for a free pawn at this point. But he also has to worry about, I have a protected advanced pawn here. But what he did was check, which turns out to be a blunder. Gives me back most of the advantage. And now the computer wants him to put that knight back over there. But he didn't. He came after this pawn, which isn't great apparently. I pushed it so it's protected by the knight. And I don't know why that's a mistake either. I was trying to advance on two fronts here. Also, I wanted this pawn to get out of the way so I could put my knight there, which would help protect this pawn. But that, you know, didn't turn out to be great. He starts to bring his king. It looks like we're drawn at this point. Now this one I cannot figure out. Anderson mentioned this in the email. Why does it want him to put his bishop here? I have no idea why it's suggesting bishop to h8. Maybe it wants a waiting move? Because if I advance this, he can take it. I really don't know. But yeah, computer says just put the bishop in the corner. So, good luck with that. He didn't do that. He wanted to get back here to either block off or protect that square. That turns out to be a huge blunder. I'm not sure why. I made the right move regardless. My idea was to come in here to threaten the bishop. But he got behind that, which again turns out to be a mistake. Neither one of us know why. My idea here is fairly obvious, I think. That would have been nice. I didn't see that. But anyway, I blundered away what little advantage I had gained. And went down here. The idea to take this. So he moved his king forward, which is not bad. It threatens my knight, and it threatens this pawn. I made the best move. Protected the knight, which protects the pawn, which protects the rook. They're all kind of protecting each other. Nothing's protecting this anymore. But for some reason, it's not a good idea for him to take that. What would have happened if he had taken that? That would have given me a huge advantage. Oh, because I could fork them. Okay, that's why he can't take that pawn now. Maybe he saw that. What he did instead was sacrificed his rook for that pawn. And that turned out to be the huge turning point of the game. Right here, look at what the engine is suggesting. It's suggesting to move this bishop to e5 or to c3 or to h8. Those are honestly, according to the engine, moves that continue drawing this game. Now I get e5. It puts more pressure on this pawn. And he has two other pieces currently on that pawn right now. So with the bishop here, he would have three pieces on that pawn, and he would be able to take it. But I have no idea why those are good. I don't understand that at all. But the computer does. The computer has some idea as to why those are good ideas. But yeah, so he blundered away his advantage here. And the reason that is because I can do this. He has to get out of the way. I should be able to promote this pawn without too much trouble. It says that's a mistake, but I mean, he loses his knight for it. And so now we're in an end game where I have a rook and he has a bishop. They're both long-range pieces, but I have... Well, I had one more pawn, but he takes that. And it says I should just go here. I don't know why that's my best move. Does it want me to trade off the bishop right now? What if I had done that? It says they would actually move the bishop. He wouldn't just let me take it? Let's see, what if he'd done that? It doesn't want me to take it. It just wants me to move it again. Wow. Okay, that's why I will never understand why things like this are the best move. Because I'm not actually threatening to take the bishop. You saw that, right? Okay, so I don't understand. What I did instead was this. It's a big mistake. But that's not listed as a mistake, but it clearly is. So I was able to pick off this pawn and just very carefully and methodically take off the rest of his pieces until I traded that off because there's no way he can catch my h-pawn. And yeah, and then we just did I probably didn't do this the best way, but we got our checkmate. And anyway, so after that game, Anderson lost. It says he lost 32 points for that, and I gained much less than that. But anyway, so once again, my rating was slightly higher than his. But I've looked at his profile. I think his rating is actually higher than mine again. Whoops. Did it? Sorry, I meant to just click on this. Yeah, his correspondence rating is 1778, and mine is 1760. So I think I'm 3-0 against him in daily games, but his rating continues to be higher than mine. So, congrats, Anderson, and maybe we'll meet again on the board sometime. Thank you for watching.